Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Amma ba'du fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. August 8th, 1983, Detroit, Michigan. One of our MD brothers, Dr. Muzaffar Ahmed Sahib, was martyred on that tragic night. He was a very successful doctor, but his true passion, his true calling was Tabligh. During the day, he would work as a doctor, and then in the later part of the day, he would find time and propagate the message of Islam Ahmadiyya. And it was doing what he loved the most, calling people unto Allah, that he ultimately laid down his life. A man whom he had been preaching for some time approached him at his residence and shot him point blank, and he died on the spot. Fast forward to March of this year, Jalsa Salana Bangladesh was happening, and a young convert, Zahid Hussain Sahib, merely of 25 years old, who had converted just 4 years prior, he was performing Jalsa duty. And while he was performing Jalsa duty, a mob came and attacked the Jalsagah, and while defending his fellow brothers and sisters at Jalsa Salana, this young man was put to death by the enemies of Ahmadiyya. When Zahid Hussain Sahib had converted, 3 months later, he went to the local missionary, local Murabbi Sahib, and said that I want to become a Musi. So many of us are probably sitting here in our 20s, maybe even in our 30s, who haven't become Musi yet, and we're born Ahmadis, many of us. And we had Zahid Hussain, who had just converted. 3 months later, he goes to the local missionary and says, I want to become a Musi. And the missionary says, why? You've just become an Ahmadi. You're still learning about Ahmadiyyat. Why do you want to become a Musi? He said, because that's the only thing that promised Messiah, the Prophet Allah sent in this day and age, asked of those who follow him. Just one thing, become a Musi. When I'm convinced of the truthfulness of the promised Messiah, how can I hold back and not become a Musi? Look at the caliber of this young man. 4 years later, he laid down his life defending Ahmadiyyat and Ahmadis. When the Israel and Palestine conflict began in October, there was a backlash against Muslims all over the world, and America was not safe either. A young boy who had not even turned a teenager, probably 7 or 8 years old, in Chicago, was stabbed 21 times by the owner of the house that he, along with his mother, were renting. 21 times. This naturally created some sort of apprehension even among our members, our Khuddam. And they expressed some sort of apprehension in going out and preaching the message of Islam, spreading the message of Islam and Ahmadiyyat to the people in America. Previous Mohtamim Sahib Tabligh had a mulaqat a month or so ago with Sayyidina Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasr al-Aziz regarding this very issue. And Hazur said, and I quote, you, meaning us, the Khuddam in America, you should have courage to do Tabligh. Start with those Khuddam who are courageous. We should remember that if we don't stand up and do this, then who else will? And remember, if there is no persecution, then there is no Tabligh. Our respected Sadr Sahib, Maulana Abdullah Dibba Sahib, when he became Sadr Majlis, he received a letter from Sayyidina Khalifatul Masih Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Nasr Aziz, and the relevant portion Sadr Sahib shared with me as well. In that, Sayyidina Khalifatul Masih said, and I quote, इंटरनेट पर मुखालिफीन की तरफ से जो बेशुमार एतराज़ात होते हैं उनके जवाबात हमारी तरफ से जाने चाहिए और इसमें मजलिस खुदाम अल-अहमदिया अमेरिका का भी एक किरदार होना चाहिए. That on internet our opponents, our enemies are bombarding allegations upon allegations against us, against the promised Messiah alayhi salam, against Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, against the religion of Islam, against Ahmadiyyat, against Allah Ta'ala. So it is our responsibility that we need to respond to those allegations. And Majlis Khudam al-Anbiya USA has an important role to play in this. इस बात को भी मद्देनजर रखें इस बात को भी मद्देनजर रखें कि आपने न सिर्फ इन एतराज़ों के जवाब देने हैं जो मुखालिफिन की तरफ से हों, बल्कि अहमदी खुदाम के दीनी इल्म को भी बढ़ाना है और अहमदियत पर उनके एतमाद को भी बढ़ाना है और उनमें ये बात रासिख करनी है कि अहमदियत ही हकीकी और सच्चा इस्लाम है और सही रास्ते पर हम हैं. Not only that we have to respond to these allegations, but we must bear in mind that we have to educate our youth, our Ahmadi Khuddam and Atfal in this process. We need to also increase their religious knowledge, and we need to instill in them the faith that Ahmadiyat is indeed the true Islam, and it is us who are on the right path, not our opponents. Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam, at one instance, he wrote, "If it were within my power, I would have desired to go from door to door like beggars and propagate the true religion of Allah the Almighty and thereby rescue humanity from shirk and kufr. If Allah would grant me the knowledge of the English language, I would personally embark on preaching expeditions." Let me repeat these words. These are the words of a prophet of God. If Allah would grant me the knowledge of the English language, I would personally embark on preaching expeditions and spend my entire life in this pursuit, even if I were to die in this cause. Tell me when you hear these words, do these words not remind you of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Do these words not remind us of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The courage of our beloved Master, Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when against all odds, when the entire town of Taif was against him, he wasn't afraid to go there. He wasn't afraid to confront them and give them the message of Islam. And what did they do in turn? They stoned him. They threw stones at him to a point where his body was injured in such a way that blood was flowing from his body, filling his shoes. Did that stop him? If that did not stop our beloved Holy Prophet ﷺ, then why should any kind of persecution stop us preaching the message of Islam and Ahmadiyyat here in America or in any other part of the world? When our brothers were martyred in Lahore, Pakistan on the 28th of May 2010, did that stop the propagation of Ahmadiyyat in Pakistan? It did not. So why should we stop preaching the message of Islam and Ahmadiyyat? Is it not because of Ahmadiyyat that every single one of us is sitting here? Is it not true that because of Ahmadiyyat, we and our elders and inshallah our future generations will be blessed? Then why should we be afraid of preaching the message of Islam and Ahmadiyyat? Hazrat Aqdas Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam has mentioned this for us. He said, and I quote, "Suno, ab waqt-e tawheed-e atam hai, sitam ab mail-e mulk-e adam hai. खुदा ने रोक जुल्मत की उठा दी, फसुबहान अल्लज़ी यख्ज़ल आदी." Listen, now is the time to spread the tawheed of Allah the Almighty. Cruelty and oppression is on its way out. खुदा ने रोक जुल्मत की उठा दी. Darkness is now going to be effaced from the face of the earth. फसुबहान अल्लज़ी यख्ज़ल आदी. Holy is He who destroys my enemies, who humiliates my enemies. शरीरों पर पड़े उनके शरारे, ना उनसे रुक सके मकसद हमारे. उन्हें मातम हमारे घर में शादी, फसुबहान अल्लज़ी यख्ज़ल आदी. Our enemies, their plots have fallen on their faces. ना उनसे रुक सके मकसद हमारे. Our plans will not be altered. They will not be stopped because of this persecution. उन्हें मातम हमारे घर में शादी. Every kind of remorse is destined for them, not for us. Because Allah is on our side and He makes us happy. فَسُبْحَانَ الَّذِي يَخْزَلَ عَادِي. And holy is He who destroys my enemies. My dear brothers, to fulfill the desire of our Imam, Tabligh Department Khudam al-Anbiya has a robust plan. It is simple yet robust, which inshallah I'll have the opportunity to discuss in the session that comes right after this. But right now I have come with two specific asks I had shared a couple of QR codes with the Itmad department if they can be projected on the screen. The QR codes that you will see on the screen, one of them is for Da'i sign up. So our beloved Imam expects the courageous Khuddam to first and foremost step up and become a Da'i ilallah, become a preacher, a caller unto Allah. So I want to ask every single one of you who is sitting here, are you courageous enough to say labbaik to the call of our Imam? If the answer is yes, then that QR code is for you. And if you, being a National Amla member or a Qaid or a regional Qaid, if you're not going to become a Da'i, then what will happen of those who are going to be serving under you? And the second ask that I have, the second QR code, is related to the point that Sayyidina Khalifatul Masih mentioned, that we need to answer the allegations that our enemies are making on social media. To answer those allegations, Tabligh department is going to be producing, and we've already started doing this, good quality content, producing videos, answering these allegations. And believe you me, a 4-minute, 5-minute video can never do justice. It's what happens under that video in the comment section that makes things really, really interesting. Tabligh department uploaded a single YouTube short, under a minute video. And then after that, we ended up getting 60, 70 comments from non-Ahmadis, abusing Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam, abusing our Imam. It is there that we need your help to come and defend Islam and Ahmadiyyat the way our beloved Imam Sayyidina Khalifatul Masih ayyadahullah ta'ala has told us to do so. This is where this second QR code will come in handy. Please subscribe if you have already not done so. This is the official Tabligh YouTube channel of MKA Tabligh Department. This is where, along with the official MKA YouTube channel, we are going to be uploading and hosting these Tabligh related content. So please not only subscribe to this YouTube channel, but also participate actively in the comment section and encourage your fellow Khuddam, your Da'in who will be serving with you, to also take part in this jihad. I hope and pray that we all can say labbaik to the call of our Imam in spreading the message of Islam, Ahmadiyyat, till our dying breath. Ameen. Wa akhiru dawana anil hamdulillahi.
Muhammadur Rasulullah.